Hey everybody, Dr. Ray, and we are going to talk about task analysis. I'm going to try to make it super easy. It's something that my students get hung up on so often because they're just not sure if they're doing it correctly. So I want to talk about it. I want to talk you through it. Let's talk about why you do it. Let me show you an example and talk about actually doing a task analysis because it's such an easy thing. We make something so, for some reason, texts and everything make something that's so simple, so complicated, and it should not be complicated. This should be a very simple thing that you do. All right. So what is a task analysis and why do you do it? A task analysis is simple. Simply a overview, a map of every single step or part of a process. So if you had like step 1, step 2, step 3, what are all the things you need to do step 1? What are all the items? What are all the things you need to identify? What are all the things you need to learn or do in order for step 1 to happen? And it's a visual of that. That's all it is. I'm going to break it down and make it easy. But why do you even do this, first of all? Let's talk about why you do it, and then let's talk about some examples. All right, so why do you do task analysis? You do task analysis because this is a quality check in the process. Quality check when you're designing training. This is me giving this to my client, this task analysis, to say this process map, this visual of everything, and saying, is this every piece of content that we need to teach your learners? Is this it? Is this everything? If they say no, then I say, what are we missing? If they say yes, then boom, that's a quality check. I get that in email or writing, and I know that I'm not adding any new content unless they're going to pay me more money, because we start to get into scope creep there. All right. So let's look at an example. I have a couple examples. So let's start out. The first example I always talk about is brushing your teeth. Why? Because it's simple and every one of you should be doing it 2 times a day, right? That's what your dentist tells you, right? 2 times a day. I brush my teeth and brush and floss twice a day. So we got to do twice a day. All right. Because if you don't, get cavities and all kinds of bad stuff. And we don't want that to happen. So, listen to the dentist. Anyway. Brushing your teeth. What is the first step in brushing your teeth? Step 1 is what? What's first step? Think about it in your head for one. Take a second. Think about it. I'll count to 5. I'll let you think for 1 second. All right. So what was the first step? You thought about it. You took 5 seconds, I guess, and thought about what was the first step to brushing your teeth. You take your toothbrush and you take your toothbrush, right? Toothbrush and toothpaste. And then you put the toothpaste onto the brush. But that's like multiple steps right there. So the first thing, we take our toothpaste and put it on the toothbrush. But there's some steps before that happens. Okay, so let's say step 1 is pick up the toothpaste. I need to look at step 1 and say, what are all the things that are involved in picking up the toothpaste? Can the person identify what the toothpaste is? Right? So maybe I need to teach, because remember, like a lot of people say, like, I learn by doing. And yes, everyone learns by doing, but you can't learn by doing. When I talk about brushing your teeth, I can talk about learn by doing, but if the person has no idea what a toothbrush is or toothpaste, I can't just tell them to go pick up a toothpaste and toothbrush and start doing it. It's like when you get those really bad directions, like when you buy furniture from Walmart and it's like one sheet of like no description, like pick up the thing and like put these 2 things that we're not even going to show you a picture of. We're just going to say what they are together. Like if I was telling you to build an engine, I was like, take the carburetor and the x-axis screw and you'd be like, well, what is the x-axis screw? I just made that up. It's nothing, but what is the x-axis screw? So we have to identify what are all the things you need to teach before someone can pick up the toothpaste. Well, they need to identify the toothpaste. And then I need to probably teach them like where the cap is on the toothpaste. And then I need to teach them how to unscrew the cap. So that step 1 of picking up the toothpaste might have a bunch of things around it that we need to teach the learner. Then step 2, like put the toothpaste on the toothbrush. Okay, so for step 2, now we got to identify a toothbrush. We got to teach them how to unscrew the toothpaste. Take off the little metal foil thing if it's on some toothpaste, or sealed. Teach them how to squeeze the toothpaste. Teach them the right amount to squeeze on the toothbrush. All that kind of stuff is taught around step 2. So you can see each step, the simplest thing to do, the simplest way to make a task analysis is to say step 1, 2, 3, 4, all your steps, the process, and then say, well, what is involved in this step 1 to get it done? What is involved in this step 2? Like I can teach someone how to like turn the power off my computer, which is like you find that little button in the middle of the laptop and push it and hold it and it shuts it off, right? That's the easiest way. But I need to have them identify, like, where is the button? What is the button? Like, what does the button look like? How long do you hold it down? Like, there's all that stuff that goes into that would need to be in the task analysis. Task analysis is everything. Now, let's say I'm teaching kindergartners the toothpaste thing. I probably do need to teach them what toothpaste is as a kindergartner. But like my son that's 10, if I'm teaching him how to brush his teeth properly, I don't need to teach him what a toothpaste is. For him, I probably would focus on like the length of time brushing your teeth and making sure you're hitting all of your everywhere. So, different learners, novice versus experienced, that task analysis is going to look different. The idea is when you're doing the task analysis, you try to do it for the novice learner, and then you just eliminate the things that aren't for them. Like maybe I'm teaching only experts, so I don't need to teach them like identify toothpaste and toothbrush. Like we're focusing on a different step really. So you have to know, this is where you know your learners and know what you need to do. That's why you do that learner analysis before you start the task analysis, so you know what the learners need to know. All right, let's take a look at another example. So this example is actually something I did with my kids. And this is something that I did in second grade. Thank you, second grade teacher, for doing this, because I still remember it. It's probably one of the only things I remember from elementary school. My second grade teacher, what he did is he told the class, we're going to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And he said, write down the directions for teaching someone for creating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then we did an activity and we learned a lot about directions. So I decided to do this with my kids since they're all in elementary school. Here, let me show you what happens when we do this activity with my kids. Here you go. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be testing out if my kids can teach us how to make a peanut butter sandwich. Do you think they can do it? Let's see. Okay, kids, how do you make a peanut butter sandwich?
Put the bread on the plate!
Put the bread on the plate? Okay, so here's the bread. I'm going to put this on the plate. What's the next step?
No, that isn't bread. That's a bag. That's bag. No, get a piece of bread out of the bag, then put one piece on.
Okay, so how do I get bread out of the bag? Do I tear the bag open?
Yeah.
Like an animal, I tear the bag open.
Yeah, do it.
I don't think that's exactly what we're supposed to do. How do I really get the bread out?
Peel this thingamabobber.
Peel this thingamabobber. What is this thing?
It's a ribbon.
A twisty. Okay, so we have to twist the twisty off. What's the next thing that I do?
Open up the bag.
Where? Right here? I tear it open here? Okay, so I look at the front of the bag and open it up.
Get one piece of bread.
No, get 2 pieces.
No, get two.
Two?
Yeah.
Like
What about this end piece? Do we want that?
No.
Okay, so get 2 pieces of bread from the middle and what with them?
Put one piece right there on the ground.
And what do I do with this one?
Just put it on the table for now.
Put it on the dirty table?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what do I do?
Get a knife. Now use the knife to stab on the peanut butter to open it up.
Like this?
Now open it up.
So first, do what do I need to do with this peanut butter?
Open it up.
How do I do that?
Get the lid and then twist it.
Okay, so you get the lid and you twist the peanut butter off. Okay.
Wrong way. Just.
Now what do I do?
Get the knife.
Okay, now what is the knife? Is this the knife?
No. This.
This is the knife. How do I know this is the knife versus this?
This is the spoon.
Now how do I know this is a spoon?
Knives cut people.
Okay. So knives are sharp and look like this. So we're identifying the knife. Now what do I do?
Get a scoop of peanut butter out of the.
No, that's not how you do it.
Knife.
Pick up this, put it upside down, pour it all.
No. Okay, so I put the knife in the peanut butter, right?
Yeah.
Pick up a scoop?
Yeah, a big one.
A big scoop, and then what do I do?
Put it on that. Now spread it out with a knife.
Now spread it out.
All over the bread.
So cover the entire face of the bread.
Yeah. Well, almost all of it. You can do all of it.
Yeah, it's a big face.
Is that it, or do I do another one?
That's it. That's
now you put that piece of bread on there.
Okay.
And now you use
Now
that
you eat it.
cut it.
Now you eat
So
it.
use the knife to cut the bread.
No, now you
Where
eat
do I
it.
cut it? Just this piece off? This,
Yeah.
corner?
Cut it
Now
Directly
you eat
in
it.
half.
Yeah, you eat it. Now you eat it. Why are you cutting it?
And then what?
You eat it.
You eat it. Okay, let's.
Can I eat it?
to 4th so that we can each have a section. 1, 2.
I'm not eating that.
You don't want any?
No,
Okay.
I don't like it.
Wait, can you all find an iPhone as well? So we
What do you think? Pretty good, right? All right, we did it. We made a peanut butter sandwich. All right, now as you see, yes, we didn't have jelly. We just did peanut butter sandwiches. And yes, they were good. And yes, they figured out how to do it correctly with a little bit of guidance. But my kids will always remember that, as I remembered my 2nd grade teacher teaching me that. That's how simple task analysis is. It's literally something you can teach a 2nd grader, because I learned it in 2nd grade. And I just taught my kids in elementary school. So you can learn it and do it. It's very, very, very easy. The key is knowing your learners and knowing how far to break down the process. Did I need to teach the kids what peanut butter is? No, my kids knew what it was. But if this was someone who, I can't assume that everyone knows that. Think about people, like my kids grew up with peanut butter, but my neighbors next door, the kids might have a peanut allergy or something, and they may have never seen a can of peanut butter before. So they might not know what peanut butter is or whatever it happens to be. So you can't just assume. You have to figure it out, write it down as part of your task analysis, and then you meet with your SMEs and say, well, they don't need to learn this, they don't need to learn that. Here's what we're going to focus on for the training. It's the map of your training. All right, does that make sense? I hope that helped you out. I hope that adds some context to my other videos where I talk about task analysis. Remember, it's literally just writing down everything the learners need to know. That's it. All right, good luck. Get to it. Let me know how it goes. Later, everybody.